Hi guys, this is Jeff at Slavens Racing. This video is how to prevent or how to stop spoke and wheel assembly failures. So the failures, I see in magazines once in a while or online, chit-chat postings that all these KTM spokes are junk. I have to keep replacing spokes every week, yada, yada, yada. Well, all they're really telling you is that they did poor maintenance on their wheel assemblies. And because it's not a spoke issue, it's a maintenance issue. And once a wheel assembly gets to where it's popping spokes every time you go out, you might as well just stop and rebuild the entire thing or replace the entire assembly, because you're never going to get ahead of it. You're going to have to continue to, because what happens is when the spokes are run too loose, the head of the spoke gets stressed and then it will break. It will pop the head right off. And at that point, the hub is probably wallowed a little bit. The rim is probably, this hole is not round anymore, it's ovaled. And if they get to that point, you really should just replace the entire wheel assembly, because if you put new spokes in there, it's not going to be very far down the trail before it starts to fail on you as well, because you rebuilt it with a worn out rim assembly and hub, or rim and hub, excuse me. So whenever they start popping like that, just start over. In this video, I'm going to show you how to prevent that. Now, if you've recently bought a used bike or something, you don't know the maintenance history of the wheels, well then probably the first thing you should do is spray some type of a penetrating oil or even a WD-40 on all the spoke nipples and let it soak into the threads for a day or two before you try to adjust anything, because they've probably got dirt and corrosion down in there and they might not want to cooperate. If you get some spokes that are stuck, and sometimes you can put vice grips on the spoke itself, and then you wrench here and try to loosen them up. Make sure you have a well-fitting spoke wrench, otherwise you'll just round the nipple, then you'll have a bigger mess. You'll have to cut that spoke out of there. So we have several different spoke wrenches. I'll start with that, with the tools needed to do this job. We've got this ergo wrench from Motion Pro, a little over $10. That's about one of the cheaper ones out there, least expensive ones. It's not a cheap tool; it's a good quality tool. And then we've got this Warp 9 wrench. It's got the knurled handle, a little easier to hold on to. And we've got this DRC that comes with many different heads. So if you've got several brands of bikes in your garage, that would be a good option. And then we sell two versions of adjustable ones. We've got the Fast and we've got this Warp 9 one. And this is a pretty nice set here for a reasonable price point. It comes with all the different tips. The KTMs are 6.8, and this one's even got the spline one there if you've got some spline nipples on your bike. And then also comes, so this is the adjustable wrench, and it also comes with the non-adjustable wrench where you can just put the heads on it. And this is for if you have a spoke that's really stuck, you should not use the torque wrench and put stress on it. You should just use this to try to loosen up that stuck spoke, excuse me. Or if you're going to do disassembly, if you're going to take the wheel apart, you should also use this one or one of these over here. You should not use a torque wrench to disassemble the wheel. That just puts undue stress on it. So I'm going to use my old standby here. I've had this wrench for probably 40 years. I've been rebuilding wheels started on Makos back in the early 70s, where we did some really exotic cross patterns and things on them to try to keep them keep them together. But so I'm going to show you how to maintain this wheel. It's really easy to do, and it's fairly quick. Give me just a second here, and I'll move over to the wheel. I see some guys, they like to do the old tap on the spoke thing like this, which is nothing but a waste of time. I mean, if you have a super loose spoke, it's going to give you a really dead thud sound. But it doesn't tell you the condition of the rest of the spokes, because, you know, that spoke could be a little loose itself. So don't waste your time with the tap test. Find a starting point, and so you can use like a rim lock or the valve stem, or you can put, you know, a little magic marker spot on one of them, or whatever you want to do. But I'm going to use this as my starting point. And so this is a brand new wheel. This bike's never been ridden, but I can guarantee you there's a few spokes in here that are not torqued correctly. And so that weakens the whole wheel assembly. All 36 of these spokes have to work together. So I'm going to start here. Make sure that you've got a well-fitting wrench, a good fitting wrench, and then just go like a quarter of a turn. So that one is tight. You know, if you're not experienced at this, then you should buy one of the torque wrenches. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't really feel like I need the torque wrench. Anyhow, I started with this one. It feels snug enough. Then you're going to skip 2 and go to the next one, because it's on the opposite side. It's pulling from the opposite side of the hub. I'm going to check it. It's also snug enough. Skip 2. Do the same thing. And then go around the whole wheel until you get back to that same place again. And start on the next one. Check it. Skip 2. Do this one. Skip 2. Do this one. Skip 2. Do this one. Go all the way around again. And then you're going to start on the third one away from your starting point. So I'm going to start on this one. Check it. Skip 2. Go to this one. And check it. Skip 2. Go to the next one. Until you go all the way around. So after you've done that 3 times, then you've done all the spokes. But if some of them, like I said, just do it like a quarter of a turn at a time. And if a quarter of a turn didn't bring them up to spec, then you need to go around it again. And you might have to do this several times. So you might have to do all 3 revolutions times, 2 or 3 times. It's hard to say. On a new bike, you probably will just have to do it once or twice. But, and then I usually go out and ride the bike, put on 100, 150 miles, then I come back and I'll go through this process again. Then I'll put several hundred miles on the bike, 500, 600, 700 miles on the bike, then I'll do it again. And then after that, I just check them to be honest, I just check them about once a year. And that keeps them in shape, and I don't have spoke failures or any other type of wheel assembly failures. They stay very snug, and if you use this method, the wheel assembly will stay true. So that's really all there is to it. It's just simple maintenance that can prevent a big headache. One last thing is all these tools are on our site. I'll post links at the bottom of this video so you can find them easily. And please join our channel, Slavens Racing YouTube channel. And also, please be active in your local motorcycle scene, your trail access. Help your trail access people that are trying to keep your trails open. Join your local clubs. Donate if you have a spare buck. And do what you can to help our trails. Also, if you have an area where you get a lot of downfall, then get a chainsaw, go out and work on the trails. Keep them open. Do what you can. Be an ambassador for your sport. That's all for now.